Hi, this is Jill at engVid.com, and today's lesson is giving you 8 different expressions using the word bite. Okay, so first of all, to give you the literal meaning of bite, in case you don't know the word, if you bite something, you do that. Okay, you either maybe bite into an apple, or hopefully you don't bite your fingernails, which is a very bad habit. But it's always to do with doing that. Okay, so that's the literal meaning of bite. But the examples here are expressions, which means metaphorical meanings, metaphors, idioms. So they're particular ways of using the word bite, which sometimes create a picture in your mind, which expresses the idea in quite an interesting way. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. So if someone says, "Oh, that woman, she bit my head off," obviously it's not literal, it's not the literal meaning. She can't have literally bitten your head off. It would be impossible because her mouth wouldn't be big enough to start with to go like that. But it means if you say something to somebody and they just reply in a very bad, aggressive way, unpleasant, like, "What do you mean?" Or, "Oh, don't bother me now, I'm busy." Things like that. That's called biting somebody's head off. Okay, you go to them in a friendly way and you get this unpleasant response. So that's biting somebody's head off. Or if you say, oh, I do like that picture up there, and someone else says, "Oh, it's dreadful. How can you possibly like that? Stupid of you to like that picture." That's really, biting somebody's head off when you've just expressed a nice, pleasant opinion about a picture. So biting somebody's head off. Right, okay, enough of that. And then the next one almost follows, because she bit my head off, I had to bite my tongue, which means it's not literally biting your tongue, but if you bite your tongue, you're holding your tongue with your teeth, it means you can't speak. So when this woman bites your head off, rather than you reply and say, "Don't be so horrible," and then some argument begins, instead, to avoid it getting worse into an argument or a fight or anything like that, you bite your tongue. I had to bite my tongue. Just keep quiet, don't say anything, because it will only make the situation worse. Okay, so she bit my head off, I had to bite my tongue. Okay, so they almost belong together there. Okay, next one. We'll have to bite the bullet. Okay, now this is quite a tricky one, but to bite the bullet, a bullet is what you have in a gun that fires. So that sort of shape. A metal bullet with maybe gunpowder inside, something that explodes or hits, hopefully not another person. Okay, but to bite the bullet, it means sort of catching the bullet in your mouth before it goes through the back of your head. It's horrible to think of, but there's a circus trick, I think, where in the circus somebody stands and they have a gun firing at them and they catch the bullet in their mouth. I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's real or whether it's just imaginary. I don't know how somebody can catch a bullet in their mouth, because it must be going very fast. But anyway, to bite the bullet, it sort of suggests that circus trick. But what it really means is we've really got to tackle a problem. There's a problem, we have to deal with it, to tackle it. So we've got to bite the bullet. We've got to sort this problem out. Maybe in your home, there's some repair. The roof needs to be repaired. The rain is coming through, and you don't know how to deal with it, but you just say, look, we've got to do this. We can't just have rain coming through every day. We'll have to bite the bullet. Go and find some company who will come, and we'll have to pay them thousands of pounds for them to fix it, but we've got to do it. So that's biting the bullet. It's you know, something you don't really want to have to do, but you've got to do it. Okay. Next one. If you've bitten off more than you can chew, and to chew is what you do when you're eating food. The food is in your mouth and you're chewing it with your teeth, right? If you bite off more than you can chew, if it's literal, you've bitten off a large piece of bread, maybe, and you're trying to chew it, but there's so much bread, it's sticking out here, and there's more of it than you can get into your mouth. You can't chew it. So, but this means, in a metaphorical sense, you've taken on a project, some job. It's a very, very big project, and you start trying to do it, and then you find, oh my goodness, this is so big, I can't do this. It's too much for me, I can't do it. Or you can't do it. You've bitten off more than you can chew. You've taken on too much. So you've got to either stop or get other people to help you, something like that. Okay, next one. His bark is worse than his bite. Okay, now this sounds like a dog, really, because dogs bark. Oh. That's not a very good bark, but you know what dogs sound like. Yeah. And dogs also bite sometimes. They bite people, they bite other dogs, they bite cats, anything they can get hold of, really. They like to bite. Okay. But his bark, the sound he makes, is worse than his bite. Means he makes a lot of noise and it sounds frightening. Oh, big barking noise. Oh, help. But he doesn't really bite very much. You know, he's not dangerous. He can make a lot of noise, but he doesn't really do a lot of damage. He's not dangerous. So it can be a dog, but it can refer to a person as well. If it's a man who shouts a lot and makes a lot of noise, and you think, oh my goodness, what's he going to do? But he doesn't actually hit people or hurt people. He just makes a lot of noise. It's just the sound. The voice is loud, but any other, you know, there's nothing much else to worry about. If you can bear to hear the loud voice, that's all you have to deal with, really. You don't have to worry about being bitten or hit or anything like that. Okay, next one. This is to do with the weather. It's a biting wind today. Biting. So if you're out on a really cold day and it's a really cold wind and you can feel the cold coming through, it's as if it's biting you. Okay, with teeth, if the wind has teeth, which it doesn't, but it feels like cold teeth biting at you, getting in under your clothes. So biting wind, very cold, right? You can only have one bite of the cherry. Okay, so a cherry is a very small piece of fruit that grows on a cherry tree. It's red, It's very nice, but it's very small. So it means you can only bite once and then maybe hand it to somebody else and they can have a bite, but it's quite small. So this is something that you can't get a lot from. There's not much there. A cherry is very nice, but there's not very much of it. Okay. So not many opportunities. It's a situation where you can't get much from something. And then finally, to describe a person, he's a hard bitten type. Okay, so this is about a person's personality, what they are like as a person. If they're hard bitten, it suggests they've been bitten throughout their life. If they've had a lot of bad things happening to them, it makes them quite hard and self-protective, not very friendly, not very outgoing. So if it's someone who's not very sympathetic, they're a bit cold, they're hard bitten because of bad experiences they've had in their life, they become hard bitten. Okay, so I hope that helps to give you some useful ways of using the verb to bite. If you'd like to visit the website, engVid.com, you'll find a quiz there on this subject. So please give that a try. And please come back again soon for another lesson. Okay, bye for now.